Hello and welcome to Narayana Eyes. I'm Pratik, your faculty for daily news analysis. Students, in today's DNA session, we shall be focusing on 5 most important topics from the Hindu newspaper. But before we begin with our DNA session, let us go through a motivational quote because motivation is very important, right? Especially when you're preparing for UPSC CS examination, motivation is of utmost significance. So what is today's DNA quote? Motivational quote: success is not luck, it's hard effort. At times people try to attribute success to luck. No. For every success, 95% is hard work, or let's say 99% is hard work. The rest 1% can be attributed to luck, right? So success is all about putting 95 to 99% of hard work. So believe in hard work, do not focus on luck. Luck, if you work hard, luck will fall by your side, right? So all those students who want to clear the examination, we have made a 110 days self-study planner for all those students who want to clear UPSC prelims 2025. So those students who are finding it difficult to uh, you know make their own plan, right, can refer to this plan, wherein we have sort of simplified the process so that you understand which subjects to give preference and importance of revision as well. So all those students who are finding it difficult to make their own plan can download this by downloading our application, right? So you can see a QR code on your screen. Please scan the QR code, download the application, and once you download the application, you'll have access to our planner for prelims 2025. Right? So I request you to please download the application and have access to this planner. This will simplify your process and it will help you to clear prelims 2025. And for those students who are looking to give the examination in the year 25 or 26, we have launched 1 year and 2 year prelims cum means integrated course. All those students who want to be part of this 1 year and 2 year integrated course can scan the QR code available on the screen, and our team will get back to you. All your questions, all your doubts will be addressed by our team. So please scan the QR code and you can ask any information that you need, right? Now this 1 year and 2 year will be comprehensive. It will focus on prelims, means, interview, mock interviews as well, right? Again, every week there will be a test to so that students can assess their preparation every week. So based on the syllabus you cover in a week, there will be a test every weekend. This will help you assess your preparation, and this assessment is very important, especially when you're preparing for a UPSC CSC examination, right? So let us start today's DNA session. So these are the 5 topics that we shall be discussing in today's DNA session. The first article is taken from Hindu, page number 8. Now this article highlights the importance of nutritional security. How nutritional security is important for a country, because nutritional security is directly linked to productivity and the economy of a country. So in this article, now Koraput is a region in Odisha, is a predominantly tribal region. It's a predominantly tribal region. So this article tries to highlight the fact that how despite the government schemes, right, there is nutritional insecurity, which means people in this region have been detected with nutritional deficiency, lack of nutrition in the body. The second article is taken from Hindu, page number 1. Now, in this article, we shall be discussing the roles, responsibilities, powers of Supreme Court, especially the context of Supreme Court staying the order of Lokpal. Now, this Lokpal gave an order which stated that even the High Court judges fall under the ambit of Lokpal. So, you'll understand about the Lokpal, its powers, function from Hindu, page number 12. Now, given the controversy surrounding a YouTube show, right, the industry and broadcasting, the information and broadcasting minister has warned the OTT platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, right, against showing obscene and vulgar content. So what exactly is it and how the OTT platforms are governed under the Indian laws is something that we shall be discussing in the third chapter. Now in the fourth chapter, the fourth topic is taken from Hindu page number 8. Now in this article, we shall be discussing about the pollution in the Ganga river, right? What all things contribute to the pollution in Ganga is something that we shall be discussing in the fourth topic. And finally, again in the context of the recent YouTube controversy, we shall understand the concept of right to take offense. Now this relatively is a new right that has come into prominence or significance. Why? Because of the recent controversy. So these are the 5 topics that we shall be discussing in today's DNA session. So let us start today's DNA session with the first topic, and it is the transformation of Koraput's tribal food basket. Now in this topic, we shall be highlighting on the importance of nutritional security, and this topic you can map under GS paper 3 under Indian economy. We have food security and agriculture as a subtopic. Okay. Now let us go through a previous year question. Now this question was asked in the year 2021. The nutritional status of children in India still leaves much to be desired. Examine the causes and suggest measures for improvement. So questions on nutrition have been asked in the UPSC examination. So this topic is very, very important for the UPSC examination. What is the context? The context being that Koraput, as I told you, is a district in Odisha, is known for its beauty, scenic beauty. But unfortunately, this region suffers problems such as poverty and malnutrition, especially among the tribal population. Now, the fact is, to address the nutritional deficiency, the government has launched many schemes. Despite the fact that the government has launched many schemes, the nutritional deficiency challenge still persists. And this has been reported by National Family Health Survey, which shows that people in the tribal dominant region suffer from stunting. What is stunting? Your height for your age is less. Underweight, your weight for your height is less. Anemia, the absence of red blood cells. So these are the issues found out in the tribal people in this particular region. This is the topic. Now, what I've done is I have touched upon the broader nutritional security in India. In this topic, we shall not be focusing only about the region in Odisha, but will be highlighting on a broader region, broader topic, that is the nutritional security in India. First, we'll understand the nutritional status of a country. Now, and who provides the data? It is the Household Consumption Expenditure Survey. This survey was carried out by NSSO, National Sample Survey Office. So please keep this thing in mind that this survey was undertaken by NSSO. Now it provides key insights, information about India's poverty and nutritional landscape. So first, calorie requirement. So for a healthy life, the daily calorie requirement is around 2172 in the rural areas and 2135 calories in urban areas. To lead a healthy lifestyle, you need these many calories. But the poorest 10%, intake in the rural areas is 1600 and in the urban it is 1700 average. So this is the requirement, the first point. The second one is the status. Status among the poorest 10 percentage. Now about 17.1 percentage of the rural population and 14 percentage of the urban population are categorized as poor or deprived. Right, and this is based on the food and non-food expenditures, out of pocket expenditures. And that's the reason targeted intervention is very, very important to address the nutritional deficiency issue, right? And this nutritional deficiency issue is not something only amongst the poor people, but also this is a problem which is prevalent in the middle class society as well. Middle class society. Now, first and foremost, we'll understand what is nutritional security. See, nutritional security, which means is a state where individuals have access to adequate, sufficient, safe, nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences. And the Food and Agriculture Organization, an independent organization, define nutritional security as anything which includes physical, economic and social access to what? Balanced diet, clean drinking water, safe environment and healthcare, both preventive and curative for every individual. Preventive is so that the person should not fall sick. Curative, once a person falls sick, then there should be healthcare to treat the patient. So essentially nutritional security, which means you need to have balanced diet, which means balanced mix of macro plus micronutrients. Now essentially the Indian food is rich in, or rather is dense in macronutrients, that is carbohydrates, fats, protein. So for example, people usually eat rice, right? Rice and let's say vegetable, again rich in, dense in carbohydrates. Chapati and vegetable, again dense in carbohydrates. But people do not focus on micronutrients like vitamins and essential vitamins and minerals like vitamin B12, vitamin B6. This is what one refers to as balanced diet. Your food should include macro as well as micronutrients. For example, every person needs protein quantity which is equivalent to your weight. So if I am weighing 70 kgs, I need 70 grams of protein every day. But majority of Indians do not have protein to the quantity as is required by the body. I hope you understood what is nutritional security. That is nutrition. This is nutrition. Now, status of nutritional insecurity in India. Now, despite the fact that India has witnessed sharp extreme poverty, right? Especially if we look at the number, the poverty has gone down from 45 percentage to 13 percentage. But India still faces a significant malnutrition burden. That is a deficiency of nutrition. Deficiency of nutrition. Double burden. What is this double burden? Which means India faces double burden. One is of malnutrition, right? The other one is obesity. So malnutrition and obesity is referred to as double burden. Obesity levels leading to malnutrition as well as rising obesity levels. So this dual burden poses significant health challenges. And here we need or we need the intervention by the government to address the malnutrition as well as obesity management. Now let us try to understand why nutritional security is essential alongside food security. What is food security? That is the presence, the availability of food. The availability of food is referred to as food security. Here the question or the point is why nutritional security is important alongside food security. So first, holistic health. Now nutritional security ensures a balanced intake of essential nutrients. The point that I explained to you in the previous slide. That is the balanced intake of macro and micronutrients. Nutritional security does not mean only calorie rich food. For example, if you just eat, let's say you have food at your house, but you are eating just rice and vegetable in the morning, afternoon and for dinner. There is food security, but the nutritional security is missing. The nutritional security is missing. So, for holistic health, nutritional security is important. Economic impact. So, if there's a malnutrition, if a person is suffering from nutritional deficiency, this will affect work productivity and it will increase healthcare costs. So, if there is nutritional deficiency, the person will fall sick. If a person falls sick, he has to visit a hospital, there will be expenditure. Now the experts state that, right, the deficiency in the nutrition, right, it costs India 0.8 to 2.5 percentage of GDP. That's the reason investing in nutrition is important for the productivity as well as for the economic growth of a country. The third point, cognitive and educational benefits. If proper nutrition is given in the early childhood, if children are given proper, that is balanced nutrition, then this will increase the intelligent quotient of the child, the academic performance, the earning potential. So if academically a person is doing well, he has higher chance of getting a good job, and this will help a person to break the cycle of poverty and malnutrition. Poverty and malnutrition. Then disease resilience. So if you have proper, that is balanced nutrition, this will enhance immunity, and this immunity is very important to fight off against diseases such as COVID. So to boost immunity, balanced nutrition is very important. Biodiversity and sustainability. Now if we just focus on staple diet, that is wheat and rice, this actually is very harmful for the biodiversity, because if a land is just focusing on growing a few crops, then the productivity of that land, it decreases. That's the reason if the farmer, he keeps on rotating the different types of crops, it enhances the productivity of land. Now, if we see that in our country, only 9 crops dominate 66 percentage of food production. Why? Because, for example, if I grow wheat, I get support from the government. There are subsidies. That's the reason I focus only on wheat. Why? Because I'm getting subsidies from the government. As well as once I grow the crop, this MSP declared by the government. So this crop is beneficial. So I only focus on wheat. The government should ensure that government provides support to different types of crops as well. Then economic disparity. Now if we see, the top 10% of individuals hold 57% of national income, and the poor households have to focus on calorie dense, that is only rice, but nutrient poor foods leading to nutritional deficiencies. So they just eat rice and vegetable or chapati and vegetable, that's it. Or let's say samosa, vada pav, right? The food that you get at a very affordable price. Now these foods are dense in calories, they're not good for your health. But just to fill the stomach, or for the sake of survival, the poor people resort to eating such foods, which is unsafe, unhygienic, right? And this will lead to health complications. Agriculture policy focus. For example, the Green Revolution. Because of the Green Revolution, the farmers focus only on wheat and rice. And this actually distracted the farmers from growing other crops like, let's say, bajra, millets, ragi, right? So, despite abundance of food in our country, India ranks 111th in the global hunger index. Climate change, because of the climate change, that is, weather patterns are not normal, droughts, floods and rising temperature, they are affecting the crop yields and food prices. So, if the productivity takes a hit, then it leads to prices going up. Again, this will put a strain on a common man's pocket. Calorie centric public distribution system. This PDS system, what is the system? This system actually distributes food among the poor people. Now, what kind of food is distributed? Again, calorie rich food. The food that is given in the PDS, that is rice, wheat, oil, it's not rich, it's not nutritious. It is calorie rich food, calorie dense food, but not nutritious. So the PDS system is another problem. Then feminine marginalization in nutrition. Now the adolescent and young women, right? They often have inadequate diets. So if you see, especially women in the poor families, they do not eat uh, adequate food. Why? Because the food is insufficient, right? And they eat less food, and the food is also calorie dense, not nutritious. So this actually leads to high anemia, that is the deficiency of red blood cells, which affects pregnancy as well. Then poor childcare practices, practices like exclusive breastfeeding and then timely introduction of complementary foods to support or to enhance health productivity, or for that matter rich nutrition. Now these practices, that is breastfeeding or complementary foods which is nutritious, they are not implemented properly, especially when once a woman, right, is pregnant or gives birth to a child. It is very important that the women and the child should eat nutritious food, but this is poorly implemented. Then fast food and junk food culture. Now this increased consumption of processed foods like burgers, pizzas, and these fast foods are actually replacing our traditional diets. How unfortunate. And urbanization, people shifting from the rural places to urban places is actually increasing the consumption of fast foods and the processed foods. So if you look at the revenue of the processed food industry, right, the processed food industry has seen a 13.37 percentage of growth between these 10 years. Healthcare infrastructure, right? So rural healthcare often lacks adequate nutritional interventions, right? Rural healthcare does not focus on providing nutritious food. We have schemes like the National Health Mission, but only 77% of the children are fully protected. Then lack of nutritional awareness. Forget about the poor people, even the people who belong in the or belong to the middle class category do not have nutritional information. And poor implementation despite Poshan Abhiyan, that is nutritious food, midday meal schemes, right? The schemes face challenges. Why? Because of the money not being utilized, corruption, bureaucratic delays. So these are some of the issues in our country because of which there is nutritional deficiency in majority of the people. So if you test your body, you'll find that there are many nutritional deficiencies in your body as well. I hope you understood the issues that is leading to nutritional deficiency. Next, we'll understand the initiatives launched by the government for nutritional security. Now, this is very easy. You can read by your own. For example, Mission Poshan Abhiyan. This is launched to reduce stunting, underweight, and birth weight. What is stunting, underweight, birth weight? I have already explained. What is anemia? I explained in the first slide. The National Nutrition Strategy to reduce underweight. How? By providing nutritious food. Then integrated child development services, providing nutritional meals. Mission Poshan Abhiyan 2.0, midday meal scheme. So these schemes are actually launched by the government to ensure that uh, the people of our country do not face any nutritional deficiency and there is food security, right? Or people are consuming healthy foods. So these are the schemes. Please go through the schemes, right? Now, what is the way forward? First is to shift towards nutrition sensitivity, which means the agriculture policy the government of India frames should focus on diverse and nutrient dense crops. Instead of focusing only on staple foods like wheat and rice, the policy should focus on diverse foods like millets, coarse grains, pulses. This will enhance nutritional security amongst the population of our country. Second, improve nutrition solutions. For example, what is biofortification, which means here you actually integrate essential nutrients. You inject or integrate essential nutrients in the staple food. So here we have a wheat or rice grain. You are actually integrating essential nutrients in the grain of rice and wheat. This is referred to as biofortification. Biofortified staples into PDS system or midday meal scheme to enhance micronutrient. Micro, that is essential vitamins and minerals. Then nutrition integrated social safety nets. Now you expand the PDS. In PDS, we just focus on rice and wheat. Expand. Also provide pulses, millets and fortified oils. Right? So introduce nutrition credit system within the PDS to reward healthier food choices. So anyone who takes healthy foods will be rewarded. This is how we can make changes in the existing scheme. Then we have targeted nutrition coupon program. Now we can focus on this coupon program which will implement a targeted food coupon system, and this system, right, will be for the individuals or families who are categorized as malnourished, who are identified as malnourished, and then this coupon can be redeemed. How? For nutrient dense food. So anyone who consumes nutrient dense foods, right, they can redeem the coupon through which you actually intake healthy foods. Transforming education institutions into nutrition hubs. We know what is midday meal scheme. Now what you do is you revamp the midday meal scheme or transform into school nutrition program, right, which will integrate school gardens, nutrition education, regular health checkups and nutrition assessment. So instead of just providing food under the midday meal scheme, you transform the scheme into school nutrition program which touches upon different dimensions of nutritional security. Behavioral economics for better. Utilize how? By, for example, whenever you go to a shop, you usually see burgers and pizzas. So whenever you go to a shop at the eye level, if you expose the people to healthier options, people are more likely to buy those healthy versions instead of unhealthy versions. right? So these are some of the steps that we can take. Now in the DNA notes, right, I also provided many solutions like almost 13 to 14 way forward. You can remember any 4, 5, 6 and you can mention all these 5 to 6 points in the examination. So in this topic, you need to know about the nutrition status of a country, especially the report of the National Family Health Survey. Then you need to understand the point of why nutritional security is important alongside the food security. So nutritional security is important alongside food security. Third, you need to understand the challenges which is actually or challenges behind nutritional deficiency. Then you need to understand the schemes launched by the government of India and the challenges under the schemes or in the schemes. And finally, you need to know way forward, that is solution which will help our country become more or will help help our country in becoming nutritional, or it will secure our country in terms of nutrition, will achieve nutritional security. The next topic, Supreme Court stays Lokpal order on powers over High Court judges. So in this article, we'll focus more on the Lokpal and the Lokayukta Act of 2013. And this topic you can link it with prelims as well as mains under GS paper 2. Under GS paper 2, we have statutory bodies. And Lokpal is a statutory body. What is a statutory body? Any body that is established via an act, via a law. This is referred to as statutory body. So this question was asked in 2013. A national Lokpal, however strong it may be, cannot resolve the problems of immorality in public affairs, that is corruption. Discuss. So let us first understand what exactly is Lokpal. So what is the context? Context is that Lokpal recently issued an order. Lokpal is a body. It recently issued an order stating that even the High Court judges fall under the ambit of Lokpal, which means Lokpal as a body can investigate proceedings against the High Court judges. Supreme Court said, wait, which means Supreme Court stayed the order of Lokpal, did not allow the Lokpal to proceed investigation against the High Court judges. Now, what is Lokpal? Then we'll come to this topic. We'll understand what is Lokpal, then we'll come back to this topic again. Now, Lokpal, okay. So, what justification did Lokpal give? Lokpal said that our jurisdiction, right, or the bodies that were formed via an act of parliament, any body that comes into existence via through a law falls under the ambit of Lokpal. Lokpal says that the high courts in a country were established via an act of the British. So through the British parliamentary acts, the high courts came into existence, and so high courts fall under the ambit of Lokpal. Supreme Court was formed by the Constitution, got established via the Constitution. That's the reason Lokpal says that high courts fall under the ambit of Lokpal. Supreme Court said that, what did the Supreme Court say? That all the judges of Supreme Court and High Court are appointed through a procedure as mentioned in the Constitution. And if the High Court judges are brought under the ambit of Lokpal, this will threaten the independence of judiciary. This will threaten the independence of judiciary is what the Supreme Court remarked, and so it stayed the order of Lokpal. So Lokpal gave justification that high courts were established through the or through a law made by the British. Supreme Court says yes, it was established through a law made by the British, but the judges are appointed through a procedure as mentioned in the Constitution. Now, what is Lokpal? The Lokpal as a body came into being through a law, and the name of the law is Lokpal and Lokayukta Act. There will be Lokpal for the center and Lokayukta for each and every state. Lokpal at the central level, Lokayukta for each and every state. They perform the function of an ombudsman. What is this ombudsman? Now, ombudsman is a concept which states that there is an independent and impartial body that looks into the complaints against the public authorities or people who are working in the public companies or let's say government. So he works or he functions like a judge. He's an impartial person, independent office that looks into the complaints against the members of or against the public authorities. Which means, let's say, a corruption charge has been uh, issued against the Prime Minister or let's say against the Home Minister, Finance Minister. Then Lokpal looks into the accusation against the Prime Minister or Finance Minister or Home Minister. Now, this concept of ombudsman, it was initiated in Sweden in the year 1809. Then in India, it was proposed by Law Minister Ashok Kumar Sen in the early 60s. The term Lokpal and Lokayukta was coined by Dr. L.M. Singhi, right? And finally, this concept got materialized when after the Anna Hazare movement in the year 2011. Right. So, in the year 2011, we saw the Anna Hazare movement, and this movement led to the establishment of Lokpal and Lokayukta Act. Lokpal and Lokayukta Act. Now, what are the key provisions of the Lokpal and Lokayukta Act? 1. Selection committee. Now, to appoint a Lokpal, there will be a selection committee. Selection committee which includes Prime Minister 1 as chairperson, second Speaker of Lok Sabha, third Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, fourth Chief Justice of India or a judge appointed by Chief Justice, and fifth is an eminent jurist in the opinion of President. So, these are the 5 people who appoint Lokpal. Lokpal is a multi-member body, which means it consists of one chairperson and maximum 8 members. So 1 plus 8. Please remember, each and every point is important for your presence. By heart the facts. So chairperson of the Lokpal should be either the former Chief Justice of India or former Judge of Supreme Court or eminent person with expertise in the field of anti-corruption, public administration, vigilance, finance, law, management. So, chairperson can be former CJI, former judge or an eminent person. And this is chairperson. What about the other 8 members? Of the remaining 8 members, half, that is 4, will be judicial members. And the remaining 50% of the members will be from this community. Now, the judicial member of the Lokpal, that is 4 judicial members, is either former judge of the Supreme Court or former Chief Justice of High Court. and the term is 5 years or till the age of 70 years, or 5 years till the age of 70 years. So each and every fact is important for prelims, so please by heart the fact. Now jurisdiction, which means area of influence, control. The jurisdiction includes Prime Minister, ministers, members of parliament, group A, B, C, D, government employees. So if a charge or if accusation is made against Prime Minister, ministers, MPs, group A, B, C, D officers, then Lokpal will look into it. Now, its jurisdiction power also extends to scrutinize foreign donations exceeding rupees 10 lakh under the FCRA Act, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, that actually regulates the foreign donations. Then section 41F, this pertains to the context. What did the Lokpal say? That as high courts are formed or established through a law, it falls under Lokpal. Now, this section 14(1)(f) of the Lokpal Act of 13, it states that any person who has been the chairperson of member or office of the body, board, name it any, established by an act of parliament or financed by the central government. In short, any body that comes into existence through law made by the parliament or the central government is funding it, that body falls under the jurisdiction of Lokpal. And as high courts are formed through a law made by the British Parliament, it falls under Lokpal. But Supreme Court said no. Though the law was framed by the British Parliament, but the procedure is as per the Constitution. Now, what are the powers of Lokpal? Superintendence over CBI, which means the Lokpal has the authority to supervise the CBI investigations. They can look into the investigations of CBI into cases referred to it. Second, independent investigation. Now, Lokpal has their own independent investigation wing. Third, Lokpal has the power of civil court, which means it has the power to search, seize and confiscate the documents of the one who is accused of corruption. Attachment. Now, Lokpal also has the power to attach the properties of the one who is accused or who is accused under the corruption laws. Prosecution. They can also recommend the prosecution. They can recommend to the government, and their recommendation is binding on the government. And if anyone makes false complaints, then punishment is also imposed against that person who is making a false complaint. These are the powers of the Lokpal. And then the act says that special courts should be created so that the decisions that are given by the Lokpal can be referred to the special court. But until special courts are created, the cases can be heard by the high courts and the Supreme Court. So you can file a case or you can appeal against the decision given by the Lokpal in the High Court or Supreme Court. So this is about the Lokpal, the powers, the jurisdiction, the structure, right? I hope you understood the second topic. Now, given the controversy surrounding the YouTube show, right, where obscene and vulgar remarks were made, the I&B, Industry Information and Broadcasting Ministry, has warned the OTT platforms. So, what is the context? That the OTT platforms like Hotstar, Amazon Prime, Netflix, the government has warned them stating that these OTT platforms should not display obscene, vulgar or pornographic content, right? Now ministry said that OTT platforms against streaming content that is prohibited by law, which means the OTT platforms cannot show the content that is, for example, pornographic material. This is prohibited by law, so OTT platforms cannot show it, which means the OTT platform should comply by the IT rules. These are the rules the government had framed under the IT Act of 2000. Right? So, for example, the IT rules state that the content should be age specific, which means let's say Hotstar should mention that this particular show is applicable for which category of people. So there are different categories: 7 plus, 13 plus, 18 plus. Whether a movie or a web series is an adult or applicable for adults, that is 18 plus. So this age specific content or category should be done and displayed. And any platform that violates these laws, that is indecent representation of women, showing women in negative light, or violating provisions of BNS, POXO Act, Information Technology Act, will be punished. Which means any OTT platform violating the provisions of these acts will be punished. Now, what are OTT platforms? We all know, right? Which means not through internet, not through cables or satellite system. Through internet, you can watch a movie or let's say digital content. This is over the top. OTT refers to over the top platforms such as Amazon Prime, Hotstar, Netflix, etc. So the OTT platforms are called publishers of online curated content. What? Publishers of online curated content. Now, this is very important, which means you should know that the OTT platforms in a country are regulated. They are regulated under which laws? The IT Act of 2000, right? Then the BNS, the Indecent Representation of Women Act 1986, right? Now, which are the key provisions of IT Rules 2021? One, this is important. The I&B Ministry oversees the OTT and digital platform content regulation. So, it is the I&B Ministry that is looking after the OTT and the digital content. One very important point for your prelims. Then Code of Ethics outlines guidelines for OTT. So, this Code of Ethics, the guidelines are given by the I&B Ministry. And what are these Code of Ethics? One, there should be self-classification of content into age-based categories, which means content should be classified age-specific, should be classified into this age-based categories like universal, applicable to all, then 7 plus, but under the age of 7 they should watch under the guidance of parents. Under 13, watch it under the guidance of parents. 16 plus, and then adult, that is 18 plus. So these are the age specific criterias that every OTT platform should classify their digital content. So if the digital content, Amazon, Hotstar, they fail to classify the content into this age specific criteria, then they can be punishments or penalty can be imposed against that particular OTT platform. Now industry, now which means these OTT platforms are expected to self-regulate themselves, and the ministry, so they regulate themselves, but who has the overarching power? It is the Information and Broadcasting Ministry that actually has the final oversight power mechanism, right? And these are the three-tier grievance redressal mechanism. Grievance is nothing but complaint. So which means every OTT platform has to appoint a grievance redressal officer. So anyone who is not happy with the content can approach this particular officer. And final oversight mechanism is that of the government, that is I&B ministry. Oversight mechanism is of I&B ministry. Now, the next article, it pertains to the pollution in the Ganga river. So in this article, understand about the fecal coliform, then the biochemical oxygen demand, then dissolved oxygen, and then the Namami Ganga program. So this was a question asked on biological oxygen demand. This was a question asked in the year 2017. So what is the context? We know that the Mahakumbh of 2025 attracted crores of people where at Prayagraj. But this has also led to spike in pollution in the Ganga river. The Central Pollution Control Board, right, this pollution control board, right, it provided data which shows that there is high levels of fecal coliform, which means the water is highly polluted, and also provided data regarding other parameters such as BOD and DO. So understand what is fecal coliform, BOD and DO. First, what is fecal coliform? It is nothing but it's a group of bacteria, and this group of bacteria are commonly found in the intestines of warm-blooded animals, including animals. One important point for your prelims. Every point is important. Then the presence of fecal coliform, it suggests that there's contamination of human or animal waste, and which may contain harmful pathogens like E. coli. Health risks: exposure to water with high fecal coliform, it leads to serious waterborne diseases such as cholera, typhoid and dysentery. And what is the permissible limit? It is less than 2500 units per 100 ml. And the presence of fecal coliform, it far exceeds this safe limit. Why? Because thousands and lakhs and crores of people, they assembled at Prayagraj, took bath, and this led to the pollution of the water. Next is biochemical oxygen demand. Now what is this? This is the oxygen required by microorganisms. Oxygen required by microorganisms, right, in the water. Why? To break down the organic material in water. So this BOD, oxygen required by the microorganisms to break down the organic material in water. This is BOD. A high BOD indicates that the presence of organic pollutants such as animal waste, agriculture runoff, sewage is more. High BOD, which means is high organic waste present in the water. High BOD levels that depletes the oxygen available. So if there's high BOD, high organic material in the water, it depletes the oxygen available in the water, which means the oxygen which is available in the water is used by the aquatic animals, plants and animals. So if there is no oxygen below the water, it can harm the aquatic life under the water. And this is the safe level, and the concerns, the BOD is much beyond this 3 mg per liter. This is BOD. Then what is dissolved oxygen? The amount of oxygen that is dissolved in water and which is available for the aquatic organisms to breathe. Now DO is a vital indicator of water quality, right? If the DO levels are high, which means the water quality is better. So higher DO levels are necessary to sustain a healthy aquatic ecosystem, and low DO levels, which means low DO levels, are caused by high BOD, and this can lead to hypoxic conditions where the absence of oxygen can threaten the aquatic ecosystem. And this again is a safe level and concerns. Now, what is Namami Ganga? This is a mission program launched to clean the water, to clean river Ganga, right? So, this national mission for clean Ganga is an executing body under this particular program. This body, National Mission for Clean Ganga, is responsible for what? To implement, execute, monitor and manage all projects. And which is the parent group? The Ministry of Jal Shakti. So this Ministry of Jal Shakti, it formulates policies, and who implements it? National Mission for Clean Ganga. So ministry makes the policies, this National NMGC, it implements the policies. And these are the achievements under the National Mission for Clean Ganga. For example, there have been 160 sewage treatment plants that regularly treats the water Ganga. River front development, right? So, cities along the river Ganga like Varanasi, Allahabad and Haridwar, right? They have seen improvements in bathing ghats, solid waste management and sanitation facilities. Public participation, people are also contributing to keep the river premises clean. So, these are some of the achievements under the Namami Ganga program. Now, let us focus on the last topic. So in this article, only understand what is right to take offense, right? This again surrounds the recent controversy. So what is right to take offense? Which means individuals have the right to take offense, that is to get hurt and take a legal course. Which means I have the right to get hurt and I can also take the legal help against a person who has hurt me. So it refers to individuals or groups have the right to feel offended by or express displeasure towards certain speech, actions or content that they perceive as violating their moral, cultural or social beliefs. Let's say for example, I'm a strong devout. I strongly believe in one particular religion. But there are other people who are actually abusing my religion, talking very wrong about my religion. They are tarnishing or they are belittling my religion. Then I have the right to feel offended or express displeasure. Why? Because there are a group of people or a person who is actually targeting my religion, which is actually violating my moral, cultural or social beliefs. It raises the questions of whether one can legally claim offense and seek action against speech, which means can I file a legal complaint against a person who has violated my religious belief, cultural belief or social belief. This is right to offense. In our country, there is no concept of right to take offense. This is the point that you need to remember. Which means, let's say for example, if someone offends my cultural belief, let's say uh, among the Hindus, right, touching the feet of elders and taking blessings is a cultural practice, or let's say celebrating festivals. If anyone is actually offending my religion, my cultural beliefs, then I cannot take a legal action against a person. Does not recognize a specific right to take offense. Does that mean anyone can target any person or religion? No. See, we have Article 19(1), which allows for freedom of speech and expression. People can speak or express whatever they want to. But Article 9(1) Clause 2 has certain limitations, restrictions. For example, These are the restrictions. For example, if a person through his speech, action, writing, if it violates public order, decency or morality. Let's say for example a person is inciting a group of people against other group, that is leading to violence, then action can be taken against that person who incited a mob against other group. Why? Because it is disturbing public order. Decency or let's say morality, if a person is, let's say if a girl is wearing short clothes and entering temple, then this goes against the decent norms established by the society, and so action can be taken against the person. But right to take offense is not recognized under the Indian Constitution. I hope you understood the fifth article as well. So these are the 5 topics of the day. Now let us discuss few questions. First question: analyze the reasons for nutritional insecurity in India and suggest measures to address the issue comprehensively. So in this article, start with introduction, highlight the importance of nutritional security, right? Write what is nutritional security, what is nutritional insecurity, and then in the body of the answer you can highlight the challenges, reasons behind the nutritional insecurity. So these are some of the challenges. Then mention the steps taken by the government of India, right? Mention 4 to 5 schemes, and then what can we do in order to ensure India achieves nutritional security. So all these points have been discussed. So make sure that you please go through the first topic and write this answer by your own and comment your answer in the comment box. Now let us discuss the DNA questions from yesterday's DNA. So, statements with reference to Alzheimer. It is an autoimmune disease that reduces the body's ability to regulate insulin. Second, the disease is associated with the abnormal buildup of the amyloid beta and tau proteins in the liver. This has got nothing to do with liver, it has got to do with brain. It's a neurological disorder. Alzheimer is related to neurological disorder. So both the statements are incorrect. So option D is the correct answer for question number 2. Next, regarding Mulla Periya Dam, it was constructed using lime surki mortar, a common 19th century technique. Yes. The dam diverts water from Tamil Nadu to Kerala. No, it diverts water from Kerala to Tamil Nadu, the other way around. So this one is also incorrect. The dam is operated and maintained by Kerala. No, this dam is operated by Tamil Nadu. The dam is in Kerala, but it is operated and maintained by Tamil Nadu. So this one is also incorrect. Option 1 is the correct answer. Next, which of the following statements about the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure are correct? So this was launched in 19 at the UN Climate Action Summit. Yes. CDRI is India's first major global initiative. No, it is second major global initiative after International Solar Alliance. Incorrect. The key report published is the Global Infrastructure. Yes, this one is also correct. The fourth one located in, no, it is located in New Delhi. So even this one is incorrect. 1 and 3, 1 and 3. Option C is the correct answer. And then these are the questions asked from today's DNA 1, 2 and 3. So please go through these questions and I request you to attempt the questions in the DNA quiz link that you will find in the comment section. I hope you understood all the 5 topics and the questions that we discussed today. Any question, I request you to please ask in the comment section. So before I call it a wrap, I request you to please hit the like, subscribe and share button. Thank you so much for watching.